Define your service strategy with service standards. The objectives of this lesson, you should be able to discuss why segmenting your business is important. You should be able to describe the criteria used to segment your clients. You want to plan the services provided to each level. You want to understand why some clients are exceptions. And you want to create a client service calendar. The first thing you want to do is make sure you find the time to provide the top tier service that you've been including in your message to your clients. And you want these proactive client contacts to be scheduled and meaningful. And as you're writing your service standards, you're going to determine how much time you can spend with each of your clients. Now, without segmentation, and in this example, I assumed you had 300 clients and you figure out how many in-person client meetings and maybe how many calls per year and the correspondence you want to do and the number of minutes each contact's going to last. And you have that recommended 12 touches per year, and you add up the minutes and you add up the hours per year and you look at the hours per week. And in this example, to get to all of your clients the way you want to, it's going to be 39 hours a week. Now, that probably isn't what you envisioned because that gives you no time for administrative work. It gives you no time to work on their portfolios. It gives you no time to work on their plan or even prospect to new clients. So something's got to give. So the reason advisors segment their business is that they can dedicate most time to the clients that give them the most return. Now, in this particular example, it's just one of the ways that you can do it. You've probably heard of the ABC clients. Some firms have D clients too. Some clients use a 1, 2, 3 strategy. But the idea is determine what assets under management you want for each level, maybe how much those assets earn for you and bring into the firm. If they were a referral source, maybe your very best client brought you somebody, or it's a child of your very best client that one day will inherit your top client's assets, and so you want to give them extra attention. Or maybe they're a center of influence. Maybe they're not your top client, but they're always bringing you in great referrals. So you want to divide your book using that criteria, and some firms, frankly, also add attitude. Maybe there's a client that is really hard to deal with, or maybe they don't follow your advice very well, or perhaps they are a joy and you have so much fun with them and they are so friendly, but maybe they don't fit the criteria in every other way, but you really want to include them. You can fudge a little bit on these breakpoints, but the idea is you want to segment them with the most service, the most touches, the most extra attention going to your A, a little less to your B, and then the least to your C. And the idea being that clients that want the more service will hopefully graduate to the next level. Now, the benefits of having a service model that you can then use your segmented book to implement the ideas that you have is it adds some structure and consistency to those touch points. Your top clients are going to have an enhanced client experience. It's going to give you an opportunity to create more and build better relationships, and maybe during that relationship you identify a need that maybe your client didn't talk about, but spending time with them and doing some meaningful things, you find out there's an opportunity there. Again, you're going to spend the most time with the most valuable clients, the ones that enhance your business the most. And it helps clients when you have a service model see what you do on their behalf. and they can visualize the value that they're receiving. So when you talk about your service standards, now break it down like I did in the previous example, but you may want to spend more times with the top people, as you can see here, and the ones in the lower segments might not get as much of your time. This is an opportunity for you to make a little bit use of that calendar and make sure that you don't leave anyone out, and you do leave time for the things that you've committed to provide for these clients. One thing that's really important and often overlooked is to ask clients in your initial meeting how they wish to be contacted. Some people hate to get mail. Some people hate to read newsletters. They'll never read it. It's just going to fill up their inbox. Some people want a telephone call. So find out what it is that your client really wants, the way they'd like to be communicated with, and then make sure that you do that consistently. They'll appreciate it. You'll also want to make sure that if you give them something and you see some useful information, maybe somebody collects whales and you see the most darling whales somewhere, and you pick it up, and at their next special occasion you present it to them. It's a really thoughtful, personalized thing. I had a client one time that was planning this dream trip to Germany. So for her birthday, I gave her a subscription to a magazine that talked all about traveling in Germany. And so things like that make such an impression on people because they feel heard, that it's something that's really useful for them. So think of ideas like that that are really different, that the client is really going to appreciate, and something like that is sitting right there, so every time her friends come over they see that, and it gives her an opportunity to talk about her financial advisor, and there's opportunities like that for you too. Clients also will have preferences on how often they want to meet. Busy executives sometimes say, I really don't want a face-to-face meeting. Let's just do this virtually. You may find that people that are not as tech savvy will say, I really don't know how to use the computer. Could I just come into your office? So again, asking that will make sure that you service that client the way that they're going to be most comfortable. So be creative when you plan your service activities and events for your clients. You want to think about things where they can invite family members if you're trying to maybe attract their multi-generational families, because you know that often a child does not stay with their parent financial advisor because they don't have a relationship with them. Here's a way to continue that relationship and make sure that they know and trust you too. Maybe it's come and bring your friends to a movie night. We've taken over the movie theaters to see this new release, and please bring a couple of friends with you. Maybe it's a birthday lunch. You know, you've got a client with a landmark birthday and you invite them to lunch and ask them to bring a couple of their friends, and after dessert and you paid the bill and you leave, you know those clients are going to talk about, wow, my financial advisor has never let me invite people to lunch, or something like that that is creative and makes an impression is a great idea. So think about things like that that can make you stand out. Now, not all services are visual. You know that a lot of what you do and a lot of the time you spend is behind the scenes, and you want the client to understand that they're not just paying you for the deliverable, you know, that statement that they get about their portfolio, or maybe it's the financial plan that you've done for them. And while that's all wonderful, there's lots of things you do that they don't see on a monthly basis. So it's really helpful to put together a service calendar to help them understand all of the things that you do on their behalf. And it has the added benefit of automating these processes for you too. So you know what month you do what thing. You can refer to it as a roadmap for yourself. Now, Michael Kitts has put together one that I thought was really a great example, and so I've taken a little excerpt of it here, and I've given you the link if you wanted to go and do it. He actually provides on this particular website a place where you can take the whole template and then customize it, so he's done half the work for you. But if you look at this sample annual client service calendar, it talks about what services the client can expect you to perform on their behalf each month. And that looks like a lot of time and a lot of work, and all of a sudden when they're looking at what they've paid you for the amount of time that you've done these things, especially if they consider an hourly rate for a professional, they're going to think they're getting a bargain. Remember, clients think about cost when they don't see value. Here's a great way to show your clients how valuable you are to them. So in summary, in this lesson, you learned about the reasons advisors segment their clients, the criteria and methods of segmenting, the benefits of a service model, how to create service standards, and how to help clients visualize all that you do for them. Thank you.